progression of Aleph through Tav through these 22-letter sequence. And if that's the Ruach HaKodesh, then what we're studying by studying this alphabet is we're studying the revelation of who the Ein Sof is in the limited format, which is the same as the Torah. It's Echad with the Torah, with Yod Vav He, with Yeshua, with the Ruach HaKodesh. It's everything he told us is Echad, is one. It means one thing, and it can be explained through these 22 letters. So for us to sit there and say, well, these 22 letters then are the Kadosh Shem of Yahweh. The question is, what does it mean? And if we say, well, like in the back of Blue White's book, it's ox, house, camel, door, window, nail, weapon, fence, basket or snake, open hand, closed hand, shepherd's staff, water, fish. How is that the Kadosh Shem of Yahweh? But there's another way to read it. And what I'm starting to go through here is that if you see the Mishkan pattern, the thing that proves this, the three Kadosh things from Yahweh, 70 pattern of creation, the 7 festivals, and the Mishkan pattern. That's what this section here is on the chart. The big white fence of the Mishkan is essentially the same thing in terms of essence as Pesach, which is, you were under the bondage of the Egyptians in slavery and darkness, and I have called you into my kingdom, my shelter, to be given life. That's the big white fence compared to the wilderness. That's like day one. There was darkness, and he said, let there be life. Light. The light was the light of men, you say Yeshua. But the point is, the pattern here is to go from darkness to light, which is the kingdom of Yahweh's jurisdiction. That's what the big white fence represents. So you have the 3 letters, Ket, Ket, and Yod. Ket is a big white fence. Tet, which means this is my seal, this is my symbol. So it's like if you had a big tower, and you had the crest of the monarch on that tower. You look at that and say, oh, that's who that is. The American flag, for example, might be the crest. You could have the seal of the president on there. You could have simply the 4 colors, blue, purple, red, and white, which I think speak of Yod Vav He. Blue. We have the blue Tzitzi thread, blue sapphire. Sapphire is different colors, but generally regarded as blue. So you have the blue pave work on the throne of the floor that Moshe and the 70 elders saw. So if blue speaks of the Yod, the hand of the Creator, I made this place. I know how it works. I'm telling you how it works. These are my rules and instructions. So the blue says, have a blue thread in the Tzitzi, and you'll remember my instructions to do them, and so you get blessed instead of cursed. That's why you wear the Tzitzi. So it's command. He says, when you look at this, you'll remember, then you'll get blessed. Purple, royal decrees. The Torah is the royal decrees of the Creator. Yod, if it's the hand of the Creator, He is the expression of the Creator. The expression of the Creator is the Torah. So Yod, He, blue, purple, is the expression of the Creator. Vav, Vav is a man, next color is red. Red man, Adam means red. Yeshua came as a red man and poured out his red blood. So Vav speaks of the Mashiach, who is the Torah, which is the He of the Yod made flesh. And then Yeshua said, when I leave, I'm going to send you the Ruach HaKodesh to lead you into all truth. So he's giving a He of the Vav, and the He of the Vav is the same as the He of the Yod, which is identical to the Torah. So Yeshua is the manifestation of the Torah in flesh, and the Ruach is the expression of Yeshua. This second He looks just like the first He, which is the Ruach telling us to lead us in the ways of the Torah, which is what the Creator, the Yod, said to do. So they're all Echad. It's the same voice, but they're 4 voices. The Yod, the heavens declare his handiworks. The He, the Torah, declares his heart. Yeshua said, if you see me, you've seen the Father. I only came and say and do what I saw the Father say and do. And He, I'm expecting you to do likewise, which just looks like the He of the Torah, which is exactly what you see modeled in me. So Yod, He, Vav, He can be read as these 4 letters describing simply the Echad voice. Everything which is the heart and the expression of the Creator. So if you can do that with all 4 of those letters, you can do that with all the other letters too. But what I'm saying is, the 4 colors on the fence is the Tet of Yod Vav He, which is to say, this is who the this is the kingdom of the Creator, the Torah, the Mashiach, and the Ruach that's leading you into the ways of righteousness, like the white linen. So I'm saying this symbolically. Ket, Tet, and Yod. Yod means the hand of the Creator, the artist, the constructor, is all wrapped up in this one symbol of the fence, which is all wrapped up in day 1, let there be light compared to darkness, which is Pesach. I brought you out of the house of slavery and the bond of Egypt into my kingdom. It's a typology. It's a thematic logogram. This is the word I have up here, which is the logogram is like a symbol, which is a gram, which tells you a greater utterance, is where we get the word grammar or graphic, or it's a Greek word, grammaton. Anyway, the point is, The second one is the altar of sacrifice. Now the altar of sacrifice lines up with Kaf and Lamed. The word for kidney happens to start with a Kaf like a K, which is a filter. The word love, Lamed Bet, which is the word for heart, starts with the letter Lamed, which means teach and learn. It's like the Constitution and the Supreme Court. The Constitution, which is the lines of the protocols of the kingdom, how this works, and the Lamed is teach and learn this thing. So you have this filter in this heart, you have this pump, and you have this circulatory system, which is, you might say, the heart of the matter within the kingdom. So you come into the kingdom, and the first thing you do, the altar of sacrifice, it was right inside the gate, and you learn the ways of the kingdom. You come into the kingdom. Did you get there by works? No. You were saved, you were allowed to enter because of the grace of Yahweh, who, because of the Vav man slain outside the fence, Yeshua on the cross, those in contact with the dead could not just enter the Mishkan, they had to be cleansed with the ashes of the red heifer. So being cleansed with the ashes of the red heifer is a type of Yeshua saying, you guys have been in contact with the dead, you're dressed up in skull and crossbones, pretending you're pirates, whatever it is you're doing, you can dump all that and come to the kingdom of Yahweh and find life. You can forsake the bondage and the tyranny of your oppressors who you were cast out to because your forefathers had profaned my word, and you're all allowed to come back. Here's his shed blood so that we can enter the kingdom. But as soon as we come into the kingdom, does this mean there is no law? No, what it means, Yeshua dying on the outside, was you don't have to keep the law to come back. All you have to do is have a choice of heart. Choose to teshuvah, to return and come back to the Father's table. That's what Yeshua represents on the outside. It's not that, oh, you have to keep the law and be saved. You can't know the law until you come in. Once you come in to the Het Tet Yod, that's where you learn the law, because it's modeled after the Kaf Lamed. Kaf Lamed as a word means all. Lamed Kaf as a word means to you. Or the Parashah Lech Lecha is that word Lamed Kaf, which means get you out, or go. It's this Lecha, Daniel, in Daniel 12. This is everything given to you so that you can go about the business. You can read it both directions if you want to. My point is, from the outside, you don't have to keep the law to get in. You simply have to say, thank you for cleansing me and decontaminating me from being in contact with the dead. Now I get to enter the kingdom. As soon as you enter the kingdom, you learn the protocols of the kingdom, the Constitution, the Supreme Court, the teaching and the learning, and then the next two letters of Mem and Nun. They line up with the labor, water, and the living thing that comes out of it. He says, with the way you regard, the way you, like a woman would incubate and be careful over that which she's carrying within her so that it will be born into life. He says, if you regard my words, they will bring forth the blessing. But if you regard my words with, this stupid old thing, this dang law, it will bring forth the curse. Whatever noons out of the Mem is how you care for the instructions of Kaf Lamed. And then you go to Samachai and Pei. Well, the three festivals that are in the spring line up with Pesach, Chag Matzot, filtering, leaven from unleavening, like barbecue grill, and then Shavuot, which is the 50 days of being like pregnant or incubating, gestating for 50 days. That's the spring feast. The fall feast line up with Samachai and Pei. Samach, Yom Teruah. Well, it lines up with the Mishkan pattern of the menorah. What do you do with the menorah? You put in oil, and it produces the fruit of light. What do you do with the shofar? You put in breath, and it produces the fruit of sound. So the menorah represents, like the samach, which is a proper, like a lattice work or an engineered structure, it represents things where you're doing something that produces something else, that produces a fruit. Yeshua said, I'm the vine, you're the branches. It looks like a picture of a structural, skeletal sort of framework of a backbone and ribs, or a vine and branches. This also lines up with the Beatitudes, where he said, blessed are the poor in heart, or poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. That's like being in the darkness of the outside and saying, boy, you got the word Mitzrayim is Zadi Resh is the root of the word, where we get the word Tsar, as in Caesar or Kaiser. And it means to be like a rock, like between a rock and a hard place. So the Mem Zadi Resh is Mitzrayim, so being between rocks and hard places, a hard place is where you get the word Mitzrayim, which is Egypt. Those who are aware of these hard straits and say, please, Yahweh, save us, help us, deliver us from these oppressors. To them, theirs is the kingdom of heaven. To those who are poor in spirit, who recognize their poverty. If you think, hey, I'm in a fat city, I got nothing, I don't need it, you won't come to Yahweh. But those who are being squished and pressed, who say, I would like to come into the kingdom of a relief, come on in. And then you step into the kingdom and you look around and go, I didn't know this stuff. You learn the Torah. It's like, wow, how far I've been away. And he says, blessed are they who mourn. Mourn? Why should you mourn when you come into the kingdom? Because when you step through the door and you look at the Torah, which is the instructions he gave for regarding all of them as the constitution of the kingdom and the instructions that teach and learn, and you go, we were lied to. What have I done with my whole life? I've been, excuse me?
I said, yeah.
I've been walking in the ways of death and deception and delusion, and I didn't know it. I just wasted the last 50 years or the last 10 years. And furthermore, because I wasn't told the truth, I was not given the opportunity to apply the truth, to foster, to benefit my life and the life of anybody else. We were ripped off and lied to, not only losing our own life, but the potential of everything we could have gained by planting seeds for the crop to come up later. Those who see the truth and mourn about it, he said, blessed are they who mourn, for they will be comforted. The next beatitude said, blessed are the meek, for theirs they shall inherit the earth. The next thing was the laver. Meek? What does meek mean? Meek is to be restrained and to say, you know, this isn't on account of me. I'm not so great. Thanks to his benevolent kindness that he has given this to me. It's like the pregnant woman who says, I now have a responsibility. Thank you for giving me your word, your seed within me, that I will now nurture. And just like on day 3, he separated the water from the earth and he spoke plant life into the earth. But in Genesis chapter 2, it says it hadn't yet sprouted yet. What I'm saying is, he spoke life potential into the earth on day 3. He put the seed into the earth. That's a picture of the labor, of the woman. They were actually made out of the bronze mirrors of the women. To nurture this seed, for they shall inherit the earth. That was the day that he first brought forth the earth. So there's these themes within that day. And then you get to the next day where he said, blessed are they who hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. You fill a menorah with oil, you fill a shofar with breath, and it produces the fruit of sound and light. Blessed are they who hunger and thirst. Fill me with righteousness. What is righteousness? Well, the word zadikah, or is righteousness expressed. Zadik